Hello, everyone. I am a senior at Harmony of the School of Innovation, and believe it or not, I'm just 18 years old. Now, I know what you might think. Do I look like an 18-year-old? Let's just say I've been mistaken for a father of two. And if that's not enough, I've had an auntie approach me asking if I was married or not. I'll be honest here, that did kind of boost my ego a bit. But why is that? Why do we Gen Zs look significantly older than our age? I believe technology is one of the biggest factors on why this is happening, as it has undermined people's way of living, especially smartphones and social media. Navigating the roadmap of Gen Z is tricky, but trust me, finding your way back to the exit in IKEA is even trickier. Issue number one, screen time. This is the only generation that is growing in the digital age where it's surrounded by smartphones and social media from a very young age. It has altered our lives, transforming on how we communicate, connect, and interact with the people around us. One time, I asked a 3-year-old boy what his name was, and his response had me speechless. He said, "Baby shark." And just when I thought I would never have to hear those words again. From educational apps to interactive games, we've been increasingly exposed to these new digital experiences that shapes our perceptions, behaviors, and understanding of the world. It has, however, these digital immersions has its downsides. So now, whenever we want to escape reality, we can just we're not inclined to say, okay, what should we do with our time? We can just pull out our phone and start scrolling. According to the study done by Common Sense Media, screen times are essential for teenagers' schooling, learning, and their social lives. One of the reports stated that teenagers spend an average of 8 hours and 39 minutes per day on screens. Can you imagine that? 8 hours and 39 minutes. This show the time has significantly increased in the 2 years of the pandemic comparing to the 4 years prior. Realizing that we spend almost half of a day on technology is shocking. Can you believe that we spend almost half a day on on our phones? When you stop and think about it, it's like we're actually living in two different worlds at once: the actual world and the virtual world. We're so used to our screen that it's hard to separate from our daily lives, and we overly depend on the technology that's not only shaping our daily lives, but also affecting our actions, behaviors, and this relationship with others. I might get some heat for this, but I believe life was much simpler in the past. Making decisions were much easier than picking a filter on Instagram. And apple was just a fruit. And instead of going to Google to find the answers, you would go to your grandma. The way we create photos and document our memories is through our phone. It is much simpler and accessible to collect all our photos and videos and place them in one digital space. This also creates a need to share with the whole world our memories. So again, to issue number two, comparing ourselves. As humans, we often seek validation and attention from others, which make us inclined to present an idolized version of ourselves to the world on social media. Who doesn't want to be admired? I do, obviously. So by presenting the positive aspects of those experiences, we hope to earn admiration and engagement from our followers. And this is not an instinct we are born with it. We observe this happening as we grow. When we look at someone else's lifestyle, we kind of feel attracted to them, and we aspire to receive similar recognition. There's nothing wrong with sharing your life with the world, but however, when we start comparing ourselves with someone else different and unique life, then we are in trouble. I have a story to tell y'all. I had a close friend who was obsessed with social media. I mean, he lived his whole life through social media. Every moment, from eating breakfast to hitting the gym, hanging out with friends, and even taking a selfie before going to sleep, was posted on Instagram for the world to see. But I knew he was going through a very difficult time. So one day, I built up enough courage and asked him, why do you keep posting on social media when you're going through such a tough time? With a tinge of embarrassment and vulnerability, my friend told me that would forever change my perspective on social media. He said, I want people to know me as a fun, happy, loving guy. If I ever to show my true self to the world, I fear they would abandon me and I'd be left alone in a dark hole. This made me realize how negatively social media can impact you. I mean, his curated post laid a fear of rejection. My friend's confession made me realize that how social media pressures you into portraying a perfect image of yourself, even in the expense of authenticity and emotional well-being. And it's just not him that's going through it. I mean, there are thousands of Gen Zers who experience this on a day-to-day basis. So what's the solution here? I'll be honest first. Gen Z gets distracted very easily, in my opinion. The reason for that is the constant stimulation that we get through our phones. From growing up with these devices, social media, and instant messaging, they have reduced our attention span and made use us for preference for quick content. We can't even multitask now, and we struggle to solely focus on one task because we have so much going on in our brains, in our minds. If I ask someone to quit social media and restrict screen time, they would laugh at me. Genuinely, they would, because that's their whole life. It's like I'm snatching their whole life away from them. That one device holds everything in life they got going on. And that's the only way of survival and communication. We're so used to immediate satisfaction that we leave behind the virtue of patience. The essence lies in the dopamine surge we experience consuming content. I mean, when we receive a message, we don't think about what it is. I mean, who it's from or who it may be. It's the anticipation that we get from it. And when we lose our phone, it's like losing a piece of our soul. We start panicking and our world feels incomplete. And the reason for that is we have embodied our phones. Being on the phone passes an enormous amount of stress to our minds. And the same stress causes us to age notably faster. So what's the solution here? How do we find balance between something that is a blessing and a curse, and which is essential for the daily lives? No secret that Gen Z's definitely lacks the find balance between technology and social media. But I want to emphasize on the idea of mindful usage. Yes, we will struggle. We will fall apart along the way. but if you're motivated enough, if you really want to, if you're determined enough to see your life changed, then you should commit. You should stay committed to the process. We should focus more on the intentional usage of our phones instead of just mindlessly scrolling through. Balance, finding a balance is you don't get it through genetics. You don't get it like that. It's not something you can get in instantly. It's a work in progress for your whole life. By prioritizing activities that clean our minds, we can regain control over our lives and find the balance we seek. Thank you, everyone.